We are live. Here we go. Ags 48.
Say, here we go again.
South Carolina 3. Well, I have to say here we go because it was time to start the show and you weren't anywhere to be found. So glad to have you back.
Well,
Ags win
Ags
in
win.
convincing fashion.
Very convincing.
And therefore,
Victory Scotch.
victory scotch to the Aggies. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to do with my hands, Casey. That was ridiculous. The Aggies took care of business in a way that we are just we're not used to seeing, to be quite honest.
We're not used to seeing, and so far this season, it's week in, week out. We're seeing A&M slowly do the things that we've been waiting to see them do, right? We saw against Arkansas finally, really play consistently on offense and get a lead to the point where you knew the game was over in the third quarter. And then sloppy from there on out, a little sloppy on offense, a little sloppy on defense, and a couple of garbage touchdowns that never really put the game in question.
Right.
But you just hated to see it. And now we see them go on the road, do the same thing, get the offense humming, get a big lead in the game really early in the third quarter, if you ever thought South Carolina was in it, and then really keep your boot on their neck.
Right.
And boy, that was a lot of fun.
It was really, really impressive. We're going to get into what was so impressive about it, but it was interesting that they didn't score on the first drive, right? So they actually probably should have had an opportunity to keep going down the field, that they had a pass interference called and then picked back up, which was really confusing when you looked at the replay. So that ended the first drive. And South Carolina even got a little something going on their drive and then ended up punting it away.
Yeah.
And then from there on out, it was one of the most dominating performances we have seen from an A&M football team in a long, long time.
I'm struggling to remember anything as dominant, to be honest, because even the more dominant things you can remember in A&M history, like even if you want to talk about like Johnny against Arkansas in 2012, right?
Yep.
That game was actually tighter than you remember.
It got broken open late, right? With some ridiculous Johnny football plays.
Yeah. Or even, against Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl that year, something like that. Tighter at halftime.
We had a shutout against Vandy at Vandy not that long ago, but
It's Vandy.
It is what it is. But this one was really dominant for a couple of reasons. So somebody actually texted us and mentioned that, they remember the Johnny football days and how crazy and how fun that was.
Yeah.
But maybe this is even more fun to watch because it's part of a system. It's Jimbo football and it's sustainable.
Yes. Sustainable.
It's a yes and no.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Agree on which part.
Which is it more fun? Is it more fun to watch? That's a stretch, man.
God, man, Johnny football was so fun to watch. But generally speaking, I have a lot more fun than most people probably watching a really great dominant run game, watching you grind an opponent into dust, even with the balanced passing attack, right? But where you're just chipping away at them all the time,
right?
6 yards here, 7 yards there, and then every once in a while you hit them with the big play because you've just been, softening up the middle over and over again. I love that when you can just tell there's nothing they can do to stop you. Everything you do works, basically. So that's fun. It's not as fun as watching Johnny football. Nothing really is. But
that was a magical era of football in College Station. But this feels way more like 1998. That kind of era where it was grinded out. Sometimes it can be ugly, but this is starting to get pretty. Offense.
I mean, when you're talking about 98, I think this offense is way more sophisticated.
It is way more sophisticated, but, early on we were struggling with some things, and now it's starting to find its rhythm, and that is beautiful to watch, man. I mean, we ran right at those dudes. Isaiah Spiller had a field day.
Yeah, which we hope he's all right.
Looks okay to us. I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Devon Achane, though, came right in and showed us something completely different.
All the stuff that Ryan Broniger was telling us about over and over and over again. Yeah. Meanwhile, while Ryan was saying all that stuff, he was saying Devon Achane. He's convinced it's Achane, and I am convinced it's Achane because Broniger's so convinced about it. But apparently, nobody on the broadcast can figure it out. So I don't know who's right, but it was annoying me all night. But
well, maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe we can go ask him. Well, he's a freshman, though.
Yeah, so
we may not hear from him.
That was a someone thing.
Well, that's true, but we still don't hear from these guys too often as fish. So.
Yeah, but Devon Achane, obviously a breakout game for him, and seeing what he can do, and surprising me with, I think his he looks every bit the part of an every down back.
He does,
not just a speed guy.
That's right.
Almost, I felt like early on in the game when he was getting a few more carries,
right,
that he was almost too reluctant to bounce it outside. Like he doesn't want to be the stereotypical freshman speed demon that like bounces everything outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, just go. Like you're so fast. But you can tell dude's special.
And it's not just speed, it's the ability to get to speed really quickly. Yeah. Right? Like he bounce it outside, but when he turns it up, he's eating up yards so fast.
Yeah. With one step.
And power. There's power there. Like he was tough to bring down. He was running hard. He is a special player. He's going to be so much fun to watch. You know, I think it's pretty clear. Obviously, Isaiah Spiller, assuming full health, he's the workhorse.
Absolutely,
he's going to carry the load because he's an unbelievable football player. But to have guys like Aniyah Smith and now Devon Achane come in and be in the same backfield or come in and give you a rest, oh my. Goodness gracious. So, look, we ran the ball really well. Throwing the football was interesting tonight. It turned out pretty dang well as the game went on.
Yeah.
It was a little spotty early,
Yeah, as the game went on.
Yep.
Early on, I think you kind of had the fears of Roadmond.
Yes.
A little bit.
A couple of tweets out there about Roadmond.
Yeah.
And they were warranted at the time.
Yeah.
There was definitely some concern. Even early in the game, we had a nice completion to Jones. He actually had to reach way back behind him and make the catch.
A touchdown to Aniyah in the end zone. Had to reach back, kind of fall down for that.
Yeah, it was a pretty safe pass though, where he put it.
Yes,
I'd give him that. That was that looked easy with 85 just clearing out two defenders. I mean, I think it was a safety that lined up on him. So 85 is in the slot, and he just runs right into the end zone, and the guy just basically grabs hold and holds on.
Yeah.
But what he did in the process was take out the corner that was covering Smith.
Yeah.
And, a guy with easy pitch and catch. Yeah. Fantastic play call. There was some fantastic play calls in the red zone all night long.
Yes. Which is another thing that I think we've been frustrated about.
Yep.
And maybe that's just fans, saying, "Hey, call the touchdown play." But it has seemed,
I like the touchdown play.
that red zone hasn't been as effective in the first couple of years of Jimbo as we would like. But I mean, right now, as we said, we're so balanced. There's so many guys that can kill you that I think it's making it way easier on the guy calling the plays to find the mismatch and exploit it in the red zone. And it's working. So, and I think it's a little bit funny. I don't know. We've been talking for 5 minutes or something, and you just started to bring up Jalen Weidemeyer, who was on fire for the entire first half and probably got a whole lot of attention in the second half. And that's why, we didn't hear quite as much from him. But, man. Love that guy.
He's becoming unbelievable. And I watched the Florida game today. Watched them beat up on Georgia, and Pitts, is doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great tight end, almost wide receiver. He lines up pretty far outside a lot of the time too.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, Weidemeyer. I mean, to have that kind of size, to be able to run block. be on the field basically all the time as part of this offense is scary.
Speaking of A-Chain, I need you to stop saying Wiedemeyer.
It's
Wiedemeyer.
I don't know what
I'm pretty sure it's Wiedemeyer.
It's okay,
also,
man.
where are all the nuggets that we had nuggets?
Yeah, the nuggets. They're in there.
Well, I'm gonna go get some nuggets, and
I'll just vamp for a little while you go get some food in the middle of our post-game show.
Well, you should have brought them in here.
I guess I should have. So, speaking of college football today, a lot of interesting games going on. We've got Notre Dame, Clemson pulled up right now. It was 26-23. It looks like Clemson may have just tied it up. This is a huge game for Texas A&M, right? So, ideally, Clemson gets the win because, these two teams are probably going to end up playing each other again. Yep, it is tied up with can't quite see how much time's left.
Tied up. So it was tied. What did I miss? So who's about to tie that? Notre Dame?
It is tied 26-all, and Notre Dame has now got the football.
Oh, okay.
No, so the reason it's important, we'd like to see Clemson win this game, is because by the end of the season, even if they play again, Clemson's going to have Trevor Lawrence back and very likely takes care of business in that game. They'll go on to the college football playoff. I don't really want to see any sort of weirdness with Notre Dame. No thanks.
No.
So we need Clemson without Lawrence tonight to pull this out. And throwing the ball away. So we got a lot of time left. There's almost 10 minutes left in this game. So we'll kind of keep you guys abreast of what's going on. But
and I'll say, just aside from the obvious help that it would give the Aggies as far as if you can go 9-1, getting that fourth playoff spot, don't we all just want to see? We all want to be saved from Notre Dame looking like idiots in the playoff again. Like, we've seen enough of it. We know they're frauds. So let's just nip this in the bud right now, please.
Yeah, there's no Manti Te'o this time around, though, or his girlfriend.
Anyway,
it's a terrible callback. No, you're right, and there was some games out on the West Coast that impacted as well. Oregon was up on Stanford. I haven't seen an update on that one either. Florida, Georgia was huge earlier. That's great for the Aggies. Florida absolutely dominating that game, as they talked about on the broadcast tonight. A&M has the best win of any one-loss team out there, really. And, Florida winning is only going to help. And, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. How about that Georgia defense that we heard so much about for the first couple weeks of the season? They've now gotten torched by Alabama and
torched by Florida.
Florida put on a show today.
Yeah. Both those teams can play offense. They can. I don't know. It's a weird year. Defense overall a little down in the SEC. I think it's fine to say that. I think,
That's fair. Yeah. Now, I will say, look, I didn't mention the Georgia offense because we know what's going on at quarterback at Georgia. And in fact, Stetson came out firing today. Like, he looked good. The second drive where they went up 14-0, they lost their wide receiver on the play, breaking his leg. And then they lost Stetson essentially because hurt his shoulder. And you could tell from that point forward, couldn't hit a deep ball to save his life. Really, really struggled. We've got some Florida fans that we're friends with, and Georgia had wide receivers running up and down the field wide open the entire rest of that football game. They just didn't have a quarterback that could get it to them. So, even Florida struggled defensively, and they kind of got lucky in the sense that, Georgia was really – they didn't have anything at quarterback today. So
yeah, and I think today is really confirming, if you're looking at the rest of the season, you're trying to figure out what the ceiling is for the Ags. This is another week where you're just saying, why not us?
Why not?
Just keep winning.
And then you see games like today and you go, holy smokes, it's possible.
This is a good football team.
It's really good. And that's what I was telling you, because we made pregame predictions. And what was your pregame prediction?
27-17 Aggies.
Yeah, and so I came out at 42-17 A&M, and you gave me some grief over that.
Yeah, I was like, why is Brian throwing this bet?
Yeah, but I'll tell you why, and this is what I told you earlier. Watching a lot of college football today and watching in detail, we have a good football team. They're really good, and they're getting better. and they're better than just about anything I saw today across the board. And so, I just felt like it's starting to come together for this team, and the opportunity is there. And I think the coach has their attention and he has their focus. And I thought South Carolina was kind of the perfect team to go kind of unload on. And that's exactly what they did today, which was awesome. So speaking of score predictions, since my score prediction was correct, you have to do what tonight, just like you did on the last show?
I have to wear the shirt of shame.
The shirt of shame. And I think it's time. I think it's time for you to put on the shirt of shame. No, go grab the McConaughey. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And while you do that, I'll just sit here and sip my scotch, watch some more football. Notre Dame punting to Clemson. So we got 9 minutes left, and Clemson will go down and see if they can take a lead. We actually have some folks actually watching the live stream, which is nice. Probably mostly from Texags, but maybe a couple off the Twitter feed. All right. There he is.
Whatever.
Wearing the McConaughey.
Hey, you know what? Tonight, I am fine to be wearing this shirt. Last week, it pissed me off to no end because I was only wearing it because of those garbage touchdowns at the end. But tonight, I'm more than happy to be wrong and that the Aggies totally put their boot on South Carolina's neck, really from the get-go.
Yes, they did. Yeah. So we haven't talked much about the defense. I don't think we talked about defense at all.
Yeah.
Pitched a shutout for most of this game. Thanks to a missed field goal, but and then still they were good. They gave up a couple plays, but it was pretty evident early on they were going to be able to take care of business. The defensive line was outstanding.
Yep.
And then we had a couple of key players come back in the secondary.
Yes, even though Damani Richardson was out,
yes,
Carper seemed to fill in nicely after the first few plays. I mean,
right.
South Carolina had a couple of guys running free that really could have changed the complexion of the game in the first quarter. But after that, it really seemed to tighten up. Carper obviously had the interception.
That was a huge interception.
Yeah.
Really needed that. It was that perfect time in the game to get one.
Yeah. We saw, Eric Young back?
Eric Young was back.
We saw
Brian
Williams playing early. So, yeah, you're seing –
I don't remember seeing Antonio Johnson after the half, but hopefully I'm sure he was out there. I just never noticed it. We even had some young guys for the deal. Diggs was in.
That was real late.
Yeah, real late. Derek Hunter Jr. got in real late too. But it was all about the veterans. I mean, the veterans were out just unbelievable, and they got better as the game went on. And they just keep wearing them down,
like they tend to do under the Elko tutelage.
Yeah,
they do tend to play better in the second half. And
I mean, hang on. South Carolina only had 68 yards at halftime. Now, part of that was decent defense. Or they give up a play here, a play there, and then all of a sudden you look up, it's fourth down. They're punting. A lot of that had to do with the fact that we held onto the ball almost the entire first half.
We need to find out what the final TOP stats were because it was insane at one point.
It was insane. At one point, it was 24 minutes to 8 minutes, maybe coming out of half, but I don't know what it ended up being in the rest of the game.
I don't know.
There was a way we could figure that out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You've got a computer right in front of you. I have to point that out, too, because that was one thing I love seeing at what point was that the last touchdown? Up 41-0 to see us come out. And at the point where last week against Arkansas, we kind of faltered on offense and gave them a possession and, let them get a quick score and kind of get a little momentum. At one point I looked up and we had the ball for almost 8 minutes. I'm sure it was over 8 minutes by the time we finally did score with the touchdown to Achane. You love to see that. What do we got?
So final time of possession, A&M had the ball for 38 minutes versus 22 minutes for South Carolina. So, a lot of that they got a few more minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and one drive finally when Helinski came in that really ate up a lot of clock.
It did. We were disappointed.
Because it ate in Haynes King's garbage time.
Yeah. And but we did get some Haynes King garbage time. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So probably the most impressive drive of the night for me, I think they were up 7-0. They come out, defense gets a stop, and the punter shanks the ball out at the South Carolina 45. So we take over on their side of the field at the 45. We still burned 6 minutes of clock starting on their 45-yard line and cashed it in for the score. That is unbelievable, right? So we just ground them down to dust over and over and over again. And you're eating on air. It's like a cardinal rule, but it's our damn show. We can do whatever we want. Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching. We're not professionals.
No. So, give me a nugget.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, by the way, Brendan. My brother-in-law, Brendan, who I had lunch with today, is upset because we keep saying that nobody's watching when he's watching.
Hey, Brendan.
We know that he's the only one.
I thought we agreed we weren't going to mention his name on air. Thanks for watching, man. We do appreciate it. Anyway. Okay, well, we got a fired up Dabo on the screen here. 4th down and inches. What's going on here?
Clemson's got the ball, 4th and inches. There's 8:17 to go, so still a lot left. But
whoa, wait a second. What is happening here? Are they at their own 35?
They're about to go for it.
What?
Oh,
we're gonna review the
official
spot.
review.
I can't believe we're eating on our live stream, but whatever. It's our show. We can do whatever the hell we want.
It's late. We're drinking. I'm hungry.
That's true. Scotch is good. And it looks like Clemson definitely got a first down there. So they're going to check this out. They're going to review it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So we were talking defense. Very timely big plays from the defense tonight. We had some big time sacks.
Yep, that led to a missed field goal again, like we saw against Arkansas.
That was Hansford, right? Came in on a blitz off the right side.
Yes.
Yeah. And
totally unblocked. Very timely play call.
I love seeing him make that tackle, though, because there's so many times we see a guy come in like that at that angle, and all the quarterback, makes a little move, and guy kind of, goes for the kill shot instead of the wrap up.
Yeah.
It was a solid sack, and like you said, directly led to the missed field goal. Because if that thing's 2 yards further, it probably goes through the upright. It really edged out as it was a 44-yarder. Then he ended up missing.
Yeah, I thought he actually made it live watching it, but you couldn't tell really kind of at which point it passed the upright. So
that's what I'm saying. If he kicks that thing from 42 or 41, it might have been good. So that was a big time play. The 2 picks in the game. We talked about Carper's earlier. Leon O'Neal ended up with 1 off the tip. Leon.
To which I said, Leon finally gets a pick, and actually we would have been better off if he'd have just knocked it down because it was 4th down and he probably lost his 5 yards. But hey, that's okay. You can't coach him to do that. So
we love watching Leon. Nobody quite celebrates like
oh man, there was a play early in the game where I was like, we need a flow chart for Leon O'Neal for a decision tree for should I flex or not after making this play, and it's just yes.
Oh my goodness!
Thought Clemson was about to have a walk-in touchdown with some kind of flag.
That looked like a neutral zone infraction. Snapped the ball, free play, but they blew it dead, and that dude was wide open.
Yeah.
So it was a 4th and inches. Clemson going for it from their own 35. That's pretty gutsy.
Wasn't 4th down.
No, I did. It is 4th down. It's 4th and inches. They reviewed it, and it's still 4th down. Yeah.
Wow.
So how in the world did they blow this dead? Well, whatever.
They blow dead for unabated to the quarterback?
Maybe. I'm not so sure about that.
That's crap.
It is crap. It's crap because it's not Scottish. All right. 1st and 10, Clemson. 7 minutes to go. Trying to make something happen in a tie game and stay number 1 in the country.
Runs for a 1st down.
Yeah. Got a 1st down to midfield. What? How did you say it? Nobody in the country can say this name correctly.
Ukulele. And that's as correct as I'm prepared to be.
Not going to work here anymore. Terrible movie reference.
No, I honestly,
Billy probably doesn't get either. That's okay. Gabe will get it, but definitely Olin. Boy, that's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's 6'6".
Yeah,
that guy is massive.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but Clemson's going to be good, even when Lawrence leaves.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering.
Well, yeah, none of these guys at the top are just going to be bad overnight.
No.
So, any other games we should talk through that happened earlier today? There was one in Austin.
I didn't get to watch a single snap of it. I just checked in late in the afternoon to see that they had won 17-13.
Yes,
and I laughed my ass off.
Well, let me tell you how hilarious of a game this was.
I'm gonna eat a nugget.
Yeah, you should, because West Virginia, I think, had 3 possessions inside the 10-yard line in the fourth quarter with an opportunity to take the lead. And I think all 3 of them, they didn't cash out. They may end up with a field goal on 1 to get 17-13. They dropped a pass in the end zone, wide open. Guy should have caught it for a touchdown to tie the game. Didn't get it. I think they kicked the field goal. And then 2 more times they got inside the 10, and they had a 4th and 1 on both possessions, if I'm remembering correctly. They went for it on both 4th and 1s. And instead of just trying to get the 1, they tried to score a touchdown both times, and it failed. Now, it failed, but they were open. They had massive opportunities in this game to win it. And so it's beautiful because the Horns win. Okay. Another game where they kind of get lit up statistically. Ellinger didn't have a great game. I think he ran for some yards, but really, 50% completion, not a lot of yardage. They only scored 17 points. Everybody's walking out of that stadium going, we're trash. But they got the win, and that may be even more important. So, Texas football is right where it needs to be. They're right on schedule as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. If you're worried that them beating Oklahoma State gives them too much momentum, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
By the way, we saw today that Oklahoma State is completely fraudulent.
They're garbage.
So, they're garbage. So,
despite
the fact that they got lucky and beat Kansas State,
wow,
who's also garbage.
Yeah, they got gift wrap a touchdown today.
I'm calling it right now. Kansas State is
Kansas State will beat Texas. Yes, I think we're both in agreement on that. I'm not so sure about Iowa State.
No,
they're Jekyll and Hyde, although they're coming back on Baylor tonight.
They were in a dog fight with Baylor.
Anybody got it? Tell me what's going on in that game. Again, we have a computer. We could actually look it up.
Yeah,
we'll see what's going on. Baylor, Iowa State. Oh, final. It has gone final. Iowa State completes the comeback.
Hold on, my wife is texting me.
Wins 38-31.
Oh,
so
Iowa State.
I'm sure they'll jump into the top 10 now after that big win over Baylor. I don't think Iowa State's got it. I don't think they're going to pull off a win over the Horns this year. But we'll see. All right.
Did
so
they already play the Horns? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, South Carolina. F those guys.
Oh, man. And F Will Muschamp so much. I mean, dude.
Hey, it's Jimbo's buddy.
Whatever.
That's his beach house hangout buddy from back in the day. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't you hear that on the broadcast? I keep hearing that every time we play South Carolina these days.
Well.
Okay, Clemson driving. Another first down. 5 minutes to go. I think they're inside the 30. Maybe even
still, though,
20.
for real, I have to point out what just a chump move that was to kick the field goal down.
That was
41-0.
I loved their fans, man. The highlight of the night for the fans is when we scored the touchdown to go up 27-0. And
then we get the pick.
Seth Small. First missed PAT of his career.
Right.
It doinks off the upright, and the crowd went bananas because it was the only good thing they had seen all night, and
was going to be the only good thing they saw
knew.
all night.
They knew.
Yeah, they were.
They were so pissed when he decided to go for that
applause.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at least it told me they were paying attention.
Yes.
But then they got really
still
pissed
there.
later on when they did kick the field goal. You could even see they're just like, "What the hell, man? Really? We're gonna kick it? Damn, bro.
What?
Slow it down. That stuff burns like hell.
Yeah.
This is
that's why I got
this has some fire in it for sure. Oh, you got your nice. I didn't know you had that. Oh, fighting. Clemson first and goal from the 3.
I think Clemson's going to win this game.
Well, that would be fantastic.
That would be. We needed Florida to win. I need Clemson to win. Awesome.
It was a good day. couple of good days in a row. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
God, I'm loving this season. And I really don't have to watch the Pac whatever or the Big Ten. You know, half of their games aren't even being played. So, but you know what? So there is a team hanging out there that does worry me. And that is BYU. And I told you this, 2 weeks ago? I texted you and I said, you need to watch this kid play quarterback. He's going to be a problem.
Right.
Because BYU is sitting there undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And based on how they're playing, who's gonna be able to knock them off? I mean, it sure looks like they're gonna run the table. And this kid is like a taller, a little bit bigger version of Johnny Football with a little bit more natural passing ability.
Yeah. A little more arm talent for sure.
A little more size.
Yeah, and size.
God, he looks good though, but he's got that shiftiness. He's got that huge playmaking ability. He can keep things alive and always looking downfield, and then he can just absolutely throw the football.
Yeah, and then if you're watching the scenarios for A&M and that's a big case of battered Aggie syndrome right there. Be like, wouldn't this be the year where we somehow managed to pull off 9-1, and the committee says, "Oh, undefeated BYU, this would be the perfect opportunity to throw a Group of 5 team in there." And
it would be. This would be the kind of year. So you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm really not.
Just got to keep winning,
man. A&M keeps winning football games. Good things are going to happen for them no matter what. The fourth team that gets in is going to get served up on. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think everybody that talks about college football around the country realizes there's really 2 elite teams, maybe 3. If you want to throw Ohio State in there, I don't think we know enough about Ohio State yet.
No, but maybe
3, and then there's a step down, and it's kind of everybody else. And you know what? Even us at 9, and if we were to go 9-1, I think realistically we're in that next level down.
Sure.
Now you never know what can happen.
Yeah, you could convince me very easily that we're the 4th best team in the country. Yeah, if you win 9-1, and there's a pretty big gap between the number 3 and number 4 there, or certainly number 2 and number 4, probably number 3 and number 4 as well.
Now, I will say this, okay? A 9-1, I hate even saying it out loud. I really do.
Yeah.
But if the Ags were to go 9-1, they are going to be playing at a level we have not seen before. Okay, tonight was great. Last week was pretty good.
Yeah.
If they do that and they take care of business against Tennessee and Ole Miss, Ole Miss freaks me out.
Auburn and LSU,
that's going to be a football team that would have unbelievable confidence.
Yeah,
no matter who they play,
and deservedly so.
Yeah, and they're going to think they can go line up and blow anybody off the line of scrimmage. And I kind of wouldn't put it past them, because even if you think back to Alabama, that offensive line was getting some push.
It was.
So, if the rest of the team shows up and comes to play and doesn't let wide receivers go right past them for wide open touchdowns down the field the whole game, you never know. But, all that's in the future.
Yeah.
And up next, Tennessee,
who just lost to Arkansas tonight.
That went final.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That. Yeah.
Because I'm going to that game next weekend. And with Tennessee losing, I'm hoping ticket prices plunge starting tomorrow, because there's not very many, and people are pretty proud.
25% capacity.
Yeah.
Unless you're at Kyle Field, and then it's like 150% capacity.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Fantastic tweet tonight, by the way. It was
thank you.
It was carefully crafted, expertly delivered. Definitely sounded like over 25% capacity with all the booze.
The booze after the Leon O'Neal interception definitely sounded like more than 25% capacity.
Yes.
But whatever. I'm not bitter about all the crying
Good
going
Lord.
on about our attendance. What did we miss? Did
we just miss a touchdown? I think we did. Judging by the reaction by Dabo, that was a touchdown reaction, right?
I don't know.
What is this? 36 straight regular season wins. Yep, we got a touchdown. They are now up 7. Holy crap! Notre Dame's already got the kickoff. Man, we're really in our own little world here.
Yeah.
So now it's up to the defense. 1st and 10 for Notre Dame. Looks like they're going to pick up some yardage here. Boy, they're not going to give up. Not going to give up without a fight. We got 3.5 minutes to go. And
Clemson is up 7.
Oh, my God. This quarterback for Notre Dame. I don't know this dude, but he looks like every other quarterback that has ever played at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't know what it is about these guys that I just can't stand. Yeah, yes, I do.
Everything.
It's all the things.
All the things.
Out of bounds.
What's to like about Notre Dame?
Nothing.
Seriously.
No,
Nothing.
there's really not. All right, man. What else you got to say about this?
Oh, I'm eating a nugget.
Oh my gosh. I don't think there is much more to say, to be honest. We didn't talk about the offense. We talked about them running the football and the running backs. The offensive line was ridiculous again. I mentioned to you early on, I thought South Carolina's defense kind of sold out to stop the run early, but their linebackers and their defensive backs were effective. They were effective. They were playing downhill. Yeah. They were coming after our running game early.
And you could see it.
You could see it.
We were getting the push.
Yeah.
And then runs that were 8 to 15 yards down the field against Florida, Arkansas, whatever. We're only going for 4, 5, 6 yards.
Right. Still effective
because of the push, but you're like, okay, they're tackling, they're coming downhill, they're doing what Will Muschamp defenses do. They tend to be pretty fundamentally sound.
Yes.
And wrap up, and that's why I only predicted 27-17. But
because we were getting such push, you knew it wouldn't last.
It wouldn't last. Eventually they would get worn down.
And they did.
Because their offense was going 3 and out all the time.
Yeah.
And eventually it just started you softened them up, and then Spiller really started to eat.
Yep. We really didn't even see much of Anias tonight in the running game until the second half.
No.
Until Spiller got a little banged up.
Yeah, because you don't need him.
Yeah.
Because you got Achain now who you're starting to work in.
Yeah, but so kind of going back to the blocking schemes, we run a ton of 2 tight ends on the right side tonight.
Yeah.
So, you had Weidermeyer out there, but you had Rennick lined up just inside of him. And we ran a ton of stuff off of that. We got the crazy touchdown to Weidermeyer where they were both lined up on the right side. They're blocking. Mond rolls out. Spiller comes out. I think Hez Jones was the trailing wide receiver coming across the middle. So everybody's going to the right.
Yeah.
And you see it on the replay. Weidermeyer just all of a sudden disengages, slips out. Nobody goes with him. He's wide open. And Kellen Mond could have moonwalked to a first down, because I think it was either 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 on that play. And it was kind of a game. I think it was 4th and 1.
I thought he had a guy in his face on that.
He did not. He absolutely could have run for that first down, but decided to turn around and make that throw anyway. And good Lord, that was awesome. But it was out of that formation.
Yep.
Ran a couple of interesting plays out of that formation. Let's talk about the option. I think we should talk about the option.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was kind of an adventure tonight.
Yeah. And we saw one early where we saw a lot of what we've seen all year from Kellen. On a rare occasion when we run that option, not the read option, but the true kind of option pitch option, where Kellen does not attack that unblocked defender. He doesn't do a good job of attacking him or reading him or making a decision or really anything that you need to do to run that kind of option.
And before we go any further, let's, by contrast, the other quarterback, when he's come in his very limited time, Haynes King, absolutely attacks that guy. He goes right at him, right? Yeah. And so the contrast is there. So Kellen doesn't do that, right? Keep going. I'm sorry.
So we saw early in the game, we were like, okay, that's more of what we've seen. The only time that play ever really works is when the defender himself commits early, and it becomes blatantly obvious what Kellen's supposed to. I have to pitch it. And then whoever's the running back on that particular play is free to go as far as he wants, really.
And so it happened once tonight.
Early in the game, and then late in the game, finally, Kellen reads that guy correctly.
Yes.
Well, we block it correctly too, because there was a time running it early, I think, when we didn't do a good job of getting that, because on the option you're trying to read off that one unblocked guy,
and there was at least two guys. There was two guys out there. There was a crease.
Yeah,
there absolutely was a crease, even though the ESPN guys are saying, "Oh, there's nowhere to go."
Yeah, if you make the decision earlier, the crease is there. But whatever, we didn't block. It wasn't blocked well. So, but late in the game, we get the one unblocked guy that we want,
right?
And Kellen does find. I would have liked to see him attack that guy a little earlier, but regardless. He gets him out on an island.
He got around to it. Makes the right decision. The guy inexplicably decides, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go get the pitch man, even though Kellen's holding onto the ball way too long. And then once he sees the guy decide to go get the pitch man, Kellen makes the cut like that and
walks.
I mean, the speed. Yeah. Kellen has speed.
He's got it. Yeah.
He's got speed. I will argue all day, every day that he's not a good runner. Okay. And there's a difference between being really fast and not being a good runner. Okay. Because being a good runner requires being decisive.
Yes.
And there's way too much dancing and I don't know what to do. And, it's kind of been the knock on the kid for a long time is that he's not decisive. And you'll see some NFL guys on Twitter, guys who, evaluate talent for a living. And they're you can see that they're imploring him to decide, because when he does decide, he's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a great quarterback. When that ball's coming out half a click quicker, or he's deciding on the option as well, he can be dangerous.
He's got all the arm talent you could want.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like, the most elite, but it's up there. It's in like the 80th or 90th percentile of what you see in the NFL. And if it would just come out,
I thought
a little quicker.
I thought one of the best throws he made all night was actually on the first drive, the one he threw to Smith, where the defender grabbed Smith out of the break, never let go. They threw the flag and then picked it up. That had some mustard on it, dude. He hummed that ball over to the sideline. I would have loved to have seen, Smith have a chance to catch that, because I think he would have, and may have been an even bigger blowout.
Yeah. I mean, that throw is into the short side.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I think he's made some throws to the field, as Gabe would say, or you know what I mean. But like that don't look as hard as they really are in the college game because of the wide hash marks. He throws some balls to the wide side of the field that are insane. That when people before now have been like, I don't understand why anyone would talk about Kellen Mond as being a draft pick. We're like, well, those are the throws. Those are throws in the college game that take a ton of arm talent. So yeah, it's all there. It's just making the decision faster.
Yeah, and look, I do having the running game like we do and the protection that we have gives him a lot more time.
Sure.
So maybe he's not being all that decisive, but he's got the time to sit back there and kind of think through it. I think there were some times where we pulled the trigger a little quick tonight. I think there was it was either a third down or one of the times we went for it on fourth. He really forced a throw in there to Nias with a guy all over him. And I think it was pretty obvious on the outside that Hez Jones was open.
Yeah. So, and just had fewer defenders on that side, a little cleaner picture for him.
Yeah. But look.
That's the other criticism of Mond. And sorry, I'm drinking.
We're really nitpicking now.
He has his guys. Yeah, exactly. He has his guys that he's comfortable with, and sometimes he'll lock in. Also, sometimes you have to do that, though, because in a high-pressure situation, you got to go with the guy that you feel good about. But, that is the thing with this offense is we're really starting to – there are a lot of guys that you feel good about.
There are. You add more every week. And we're adding more to the game plan every week. You're starting to see more plays come in that we haven't seen. And, that's the genius of what Jimbo can do when it gets rolling. If you prove you can take more, he'll give you more. And the offense is very complex. And, it takes guys with experience and takes guys working really hard to get it. And that's why this football team just gets better under Jimbo Fisher as the season goes on. And, oh, God, I even saw, we talked about it last week, how we used to fear November. And we don't fear November anymore. But I saw somebody make reference to that. It might even have been on TexAg. Say we flipped the calendar. We're now in November. Everybody's worried. What? No, we're not worried. That doesn't mean we're going to go undefeated.
No. But
we're going to be a better football team next week than we are this week, win or lose. Like, they're going to be better.
Right.
So, that's just encouraging when somebody says, what do you think of Jimbo Fisher? Well, that's number one to me. It's his football teams get better.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Till then, victory scotch. That's enough for this week. We're not waiting up for Gabe. I'm not going to 1 a.m. this time.
No. Okay.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. It's pretty cool. We had some folks out there watching. Appreciate it. Subscribe. Go follow us on Twitter at MeltdownAgs. It's a fun Twitter game during the ball game. A lot of fun. And, we'll figure out something for next week. I'll be actually in Knoxville, so we may have a guest host suiting up with you. We'll figure that out, too.
You got a cell phone.
Beat the hell out of Tennessee.
Yeah.